Hi everyone, welcome back. This is week 14 of my social isolation get ready with me's. I'm not going to be focusing on a particular palette today because I did a look on Friday. I had a girlfriend who came over. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I put a bunch of glitter on and it was a super simple look and I just really liked the overall effect of it. I posted on Instagram stories and people seemed to be interested in it. I was like, whatever, just recreate it. Who cares if it's not focusing on a particular palette? I am going to be using a palette in this though, so maybe I guess you could say I'm sort of focusing on the Mercier artist palette, but I mean, we're going to be very, very basic about how we use this. I know I did promise another rainbow look for this week, but I do really like the glitter thing a little bit more as a bit of a change up for Pride themed looks, so that's what we're going with today. So it's week 14, which who can believe it? And I think I mentioned last weekend that the Ontario government decided that we could expand our social circle up to, the wording was weird and I said this last time too, we could expand it up to 10 people of the same social circle, which is just strange because nobody has 10 exact friends that all hang out only with the exact same 10 people. So my friend Julie and I decided to hang out on Friday and I was like, you're the only one that's going to be in my circle because I don't have really any family in the city aside from some cousins whom I don't see that often. So I was like, Julie, you're my one, let's hang out. So we hung out on Friday. She got to my place and I just like, full hug, just hold her tight. I'm like, I'm not gonna let you go. And she's like, you're gonna have to because we're gonna watch a movie. So it was just nice to hold her. Just to like see her face and like touch her and give her a big hug. Oh my God. And while we were hanging out, I said to her, I'm like, you know, we haven't seen each other in 14 or 15 weeks because we'd actually hung out just before COVID-19 isolation happened. Even though it's been that long, so it's been like 3 months basically, nothing felt any different. And I mean, that's always true of like friends that you really connect with. But it was just funny sitting on the sofa watching a Lindsay Lohan movie and then watching a whole bunch of Britney Spears music videos afterwards. I was like, it's like no time has passed really. And I've got a few friends like that where it's just like, it doesn't matter how long it's been since you've seen them, every time you get to hang out with them again, it feels like you just left off where you were before. And I mean, for Julie and I, it was only like a few months, but I've got some friends, like I don't see them for a year or so, and I hang out with them and I'm like, it's just like old times. Okay, so the focus of this video is going to be on this Glitterally Obsessed gel glitter by ColourPop. I mention this all the time. These things are not eye safe, but I use them on my eyes and I don't have any problems. The only reason that they are generally considered not eye safe is because the glitter particles are quite large, and if you get any of that into your eye, it has the potential to cut your eye. Now, I say that as a precaution, but I have never had a problem with glitter getting stuck in my eyes, so I continue to use these this way, and I have with every kind of glitter since I was like in my teens. So I'm gonna be using this on my eyes. If you're uncomfortable with that, maybe find a more a more finer cut glitter, and that's supposed to be more eye safe. I say all this, but I don't actually get how glitter can be even remotely eye safe because they are pieces of plastic that, I mean, they have the potential to cut if it's got a rough edge. Okay, anyway, moving on. Disclaimers out of the way. I hate when people do disclaimers, but there's some people out there who just like, that's not eye safe. You can't do that. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm doing it on myself. I'm not putting it on anybody else, you know what I mean? Okay, so I want a little bit of dimension to my eye. So I'm gonna take this Mercier artist palette that I got in 2013, but there is a new version of it now. It just has different outer packaging. And I believe, geez, this is awkward to hold. I'm going to take Fresco and just put that through my crease. I don't want a lot of color. I just kind of want to give some sort of dimension to my eye. Actually, when I did this on Friday, so this is the look I did for when my friend came over, I didn't actually put any eyeshadow on, which is weird for me, very strange. But I just wanted something a little bit easy because she told me that she was going to wear glitter. I'm like, okay, well, I have to now. It was kind of our own little Pride celebration because Pride Week is actually starting, I guess it's now, like, well, you'll see this on Tuesday, but I guess it's like the entire week before the actual Pride Parade, which would have been next Sunday, but obviously everything is canceled. And then just to cover my lid space a little bit, I'm going to take Vanilla Nuts, ridiculous name, and just like really sloppily just apply that everywhere. So yeah, this is Pride Week. Happy Pride, Toronto. Very sad that we're not able to go out and party. I love Pride in Toronto. They closed down the main gay village street, which is Church Street in Toronto. I live just at the very edge of the gay village. And it's a huge party for the entire weekend of Pride, which ends with the Pride Parade. And it's just so much freaking fun. There's so many sound stages with different DJs playing music. You can dance and drink outside in restricted areas. And it's just so lively and such a wonderful vibe. And I always run the Pride and Remembrance Run 5K on the Saturday morning, which means I don't party Friday night. And that's canceled. Everything is canceled. But it's just such a wonderful event in the city, and I'm so sad to be missing out on it this year. But it just means we're going to have to make next year even better. Okay, super basic eyeshadow look. What I'm going to be focusing on for the eyes is using this liquid glitter, what is this? Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliner by Urban Decay. This is in the shade Stix and Bones. And then what I'm going to do after I have that on is I'm going to apply my foundation, and then we'll go back in with the Glitterally, because it's basically going to just cover this sort of area, and I need to put my foundation on first, but I want to do liner first. So this one's quite pretty. It's not a shade that I use very often because I find it kind of dark. And when I tend to use these ones, I use them as glitter freckles on my face. So I often forget that I've got colors that I could actually use as a real eyeliner. Anyway, so let's get this on. This is unfortunately not my favorite style of eyeliner because it is like a dip mechanism, but I don't have anything in a pen style. So I'm just gonna do a regular wing with this. You may find with these that you have to go over them a few layers. That's fine. It doesn't get too chunky when you do that, which is really nice. But because the base of this is not completely opaque, just because there's so much glitter in it, you will find that multiple coats will help bring this out. Okay, liner is on. It's decently even, I think. I'm going to go ahead with mascara. I'm using the Hourglass Caution Mascara, and then I'm going to pop on some half lashes by Socialize. These are their lady lashes. Okay, for face, we're keeping it relatively simple. One of my favorites, the Revlon Full Cover Foundation. This is in the shade 200 Nude. I was going to say Buff, but I think Buff's like 180. And this one, I always have a tendency to put too much on, so I'm going to try to control myself. Last week, when I put that foundation on, my favorite one, the Boots No. 7 one, I thought it was going to be the right color, and I was looking at my neck later on, and I was like, oh no, that is still way, way too dark for you. So even though I think I'm getting some color this summer from running, I am not getting nearly as much as I thought I did. This one's pretty good though, in terms of color match. It's so funny to me though, because obviously I've got like a ring light here that is illuminating me so you guys can see me better, but it's kind of wild how much that light will wash out color. And sometimes even if it looks like it matches on camera, if I go into like the bathroom afterwards and put the light on there, I'm like, oh no, that foundation does not match between my neck and my face. So if things are starting to open up a little bit, not massively here in Toronto, the friend thing is pretty big, I think, like expanding your social circle outside of your household. I'm wondering how soon other things are going to start to open. I know the US border between Canada and the US is still closed, I believe, through July. But even that, I find that surprising that it's only through July. I thought it'd be well and clear into like September, October. The cases in Toronto, though, are definitely going down. I think we're finally reporting like under 200 cases a day, which is so freaking exciting because I feel like they were at like, what, 400 and climbing for a while? Okay, foundation on. I'm going to use a bronzer that really failed on me the last time I tried it because it was just so pigmented. And sadly, I have it in this Lancome container because it just broke on me. This is the Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick, and I put the entire thing, a mini granted, into this little sample tube that I had from Lancome from I don't even know when. Oh man, the scent on this is gnarly. Everybody talks about it. It just smells like expired Play-Doh, but I mean, this was a brand new tube as of like 2 or 3 months ago, so it should be fine. Now, when I tried to use this last time, it went haywire pretty quickly because this stuff is really heckin' pigmented. I'm gonna try a different brush. This, I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I don't even know the name of this. It's a Real Techniques brush in the number 301. So I'm gonna take a little bit, and try to blend this out as best I can because so many people rave about this bronzer, and then when I used it in one of my videos, I guess a few months ago now, it was intense and super orange. I mean, I guess that's okay. Maybe I just have to use less because I must have just streaked it on last time. That's right. I remember thinking that this color looks like I put poo on my face. Okay, let's just tap it out and see where it goes. Okay, now it looks good. Okay, maybe I just need something like this, flat, and just tap it out. Because when I was trying to do like I would with a powder and like buff it in, it was just not looking good. Take it a little bit down here, but not too much. Just looks so bad when you first put it on. Holy smokes. But tapped out, okay, that's a lot better. Okay, I'm a little bit more pleased with this, and I think it's really just down to the brush. The one I used last time was just not working, and I probably just applied way too much product to begin with. Okay, I'm pleased. That's a lot better. For blush, I'm going to stick with creams because I just used a cream bronzer, and I'm going to be using this Stila Convertible Color 5 set. It's called the Sunset Serenade one. I love these things, but I never think to use them. And I think, kind of want to match the tone of the eyeshadow. This thing's broken, by the way, so irritating. So I'm going to go with this one over here, which I believe is called Twilight Rose, and apply that lightly to my cheeks. It's funny, whenever I stipple it on the first time, it just looks like it's going to look like a splatter effect on my face, but these blend out so nicely. Look at that. It's like it's flawless. And I'm not going to do any highlighter because the glitter that I'm going to be putting on is going to cover that sort of area, and I don't want any sort of highlighter interfering with that. Okay, I've got my eyebrows on. I've zoomed you in closer because now we're going to do the fun part for this. So this is the ColourPop Glitterally Obsessed in the shade You're a Firework. You're spelled U-R. And this one is so freaking gorgeous. It's like an opalescent rainbow-esque glitter with little hexagonal pieces of glitter amongst stars as well. So this is a lot of, there we go. This is a lot of fun. I used it on Friday and I was so pleased with how it came out. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So the point of this look now is to completely cover the glitter in this area and just make it sort of fade out towards my temples. And I'm gonna be using this flat Wet n Wild brush for it. And I'm just going to dip in here, try to get not only small shimmer particles on the brush, but also some of the larger chunks, which can be a little bit hard to pick up on the brush. There you go, I got a few. And what we're gonna do is just start layering it on the lid. And I love when you get a chunk that just like haphazardly goes in a pretty location, because obviously it can be hard to kind of place some of these. But what you wanna do is get all that glitter sort of dispersed, but have some of the bigger chunks sort of just floating everywhere. I'm not using a glitter primer with this. You can if you want. I found that my eyelids were a little bit sticky with having this on them, but it didn't seem to really crease, which I thought was strange for me, but kind of handy. So it was still a little bit sticky, but it wasn't creasing, which was great. So I'm just putting that all over the lid, obviously trying to skip the eyeliner. And then as I get out here, I'm just gonna start dragging it. And same thing underneath the eye. Just put some down there and then just drag it towards where you want it to go. And I'm gonna go, oh, that's a lot. I'm gonna go fairly low here because I really like the look when I had it done just sort of like underneath my eyelid. Although somebody in a video it was a few weeks ago now, I put some sort of glitter, like, not tears, but like glitter triangles underneath my eyes for one of the tutorials. And then I guess in the video that I filmed afterwards, because I was so far away, it didn't really look like glitter. And somebody's like, what's going on with your under eye area? And I was, at first I didn't know what they were talking about. Then I looked closer, I'm like, oh, it's gritty glitter that looks really kind of funny from far away. Try to pull some a little bit onto my cheekbone because I don't want it to be too precise anywhere. So that's generally the gist of what I'm doing. It's a little bit haphazard, but I just like how it sort of looks like a Milky Way kind of, like it just sort of falls off of my eye and goes towards my temple. It's not too precise. I just try to fill in any gaps that I would otherwise have because I don't want too much like missing between like the wing or anything like that. But yeah, that's the overall effect, and I'm just gonna replicate it on the other side now. Okay, so that's both sides of my eyes done. Actually, the lights are kind of, they're washing them out a little bit, but they are really reflective. It's super pretty looking in my eyes. I just really like the sort of glitter sort of just coming out of my eyes kind of idea. I don't know what else to call it. I think it's so much fun. There, I just turned the brightness down a little bit on the camera so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, well I goofed there. I thought I was recording while putting on my lip stuff, but apparently not. So I am wearing the MAC Cremesheen lipstick in the shade Mystical. This is quite old. Does anybody remember this collection? I love this one because it's got like embossed water droplets on it. The shade is fairly neutral. I just sort of dabbed it on because I didn't want too much color, but I did want something that wasn't just too pale on me. And then I followed it up with this gloss from Sephora Collection, which is equally very old. This is from like a holiday collection. I don't even know how many years ago. It doesn't smell too bad though, so I'm still using it. The shade is in Queen Bee, and I like it just because it's a rather neutral gloss with a lot of glitter in it. So it just kind of enhanced the lipstick that I already had on. So that is it for this look. Kind of pride themed, not really, mostly only pride themed because of my shirt right now. But I wanted something a little bit different because I've been playing with so many palettes lately. I haven't felt myself being very creative just because I've been focused on certain palettes. And then when I tried this on Friday, I was like, oh, it's nice to do something a little bit different involving different things in my collection. So I really like not only the glitter liner because it's actually quite stark, right? Like some glitter liners are so sheer that you don't really get much of a liner look when you're wearing them, but this one definitely worked out. Sticks and Bones, I believe is the shade. Yeah, that's it, by Urban Decay. And then I loved following it up with all kinds of glitter by ColourPop. I just love it. It's just so much fun and not something I would normally do. So that's going to be it for this week. This is week 14 done of my social isolation get ready with me's, and I will resume palette stuff next week. So if you want to vote on what palettes I'm going to be using, I always post on Instagram stories, usually like a day or two before I film these videos, and get your feedback on which of the two palettes that I've chosen for the week do you want to see me actually work with. So that'll be posted next week at some point on Instagram stories. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're doing well. Happy Pride, because this is Pride Week in Toronto. Please make sure that you are taking care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye.